game. Let's get into a game I'm super excited about. Not that I wasn't excited about this one. I'm super excited about the next one. SMU versus Wake Forest. I watch SMU a lot because my dog Mike, that's his favorite team. Director Mike of CFB Nation, his favorite team is SMU. So I end up watching a lot of their games. And of course, I like Baylor a lot, so I watch their games. Wake Forest is a really scary team. I know Jalen, who's in the chat now, he had an opportunity to talk to Damon Claiborne Jr. at ACC Media Days. They were able to have a great conversation. All of the players talked about their head coach Dickert, and if you're juiceless, you're useless, and how he'll have them screaming at 6 in the morning. And you can see the program buying into it. I don't think I'm more happier for anybody in college football than I am for Robbie Ashford, because he would just go to teams, have promises of being able to compete for the starting job. Lost it in Columbia to Lenore Sellers a year ago. Lost it to Peyton Thorne in Auburn a few years ago, and I think might have been back-to-back years he lost it there, or he lost it one year and went to South Carolina. I'm just happy he's getting an opportunity to start now. And I know he was hurt their last game. Were they idle last week? I can't remember if they were idle this past week, but outstanding game between these two teams. So let's talk about where both of these teams are right now. And it's nearly been half a century since these two teams played, but Mustangs lead this all-time series 3-0, and their last win was coming in 1975. Where they won 14-7 in Winston-Salem. So let's talk about the coaches in the team polls. We got Rhett Lashlee, 5-2. I thought that they would have a sophomore slump. And early in the year, I was like, yeah, it's definitely coming. But they're trending in the right direction. They're playing really well. The tape is out. They went undefeated in the ACC last year. Did not have that on my 2024 college football bingo card, that they will be undefeated in conference play a year ago. Of course, they lost to Clemson in the ACC championship, but in the regular season, they weren't undefeated against the ACC. And they played really fast. I think they run the best RPO system in the country. They have the best RPO quarterback in the country. I will fight anybody on that. Kevin Jennings is an outstanding RPO quarterback. Does have a lot of interceptions. It is frustrating. I know it, but I think he's the best RPO quarterback in the country. They're top 25 nationally in passing. And we seen what they were able to do. They put up points in bunches versus Clemson last week. I know Cade Klubnik didn't play. Your defense was there. You guys are supposed to have, top guys on your defensive line and in your secondary. Your defense was there, but clearly not. And they were scoring points in bunches. They had a couple of big plays last week too in that game. Jake Dickert, huge fan of Jake Dickert, because at these media days, the biggest thing I think we get to find out is, do the players sound like the coaches? Are they buying into what they're saying? And every last person that we talked to from Wake Forest, they bought in. They're buying into what Jake Dickert is bringing, and they're 4-2. But in my opinion, they should be 5-1 because they were absolutely robbed in that Georgia Tech game. Love what they're doing. I thought Dave Clawson did an outstanding job during his tenure in Winston-Salem, and I hated to see him to go. But sometimes change is good. I think sometimes change is good and change is needed. And change was definitely needed in Winston-Salem. And they just put hands and feet on Oregon State. And Robbie Ashford, their starting quarterback, didn't even play. And I know Oregon State has been struggling this year, but 39-14 and your starting quarterback didn't play is pretty impressive. So let's talk about SMU. They do have offensive coordinators, Rob Likens, in case he was, but this is Rhett Lashlee's system. Up-tempo spread, RPO, leveraging speed and spacing. That's what you're going to get. And don't nobody run the RPO better. I don't think that there's a better RPO system. I don't think anybody run it better than Kevin Jennings. That's why he was able to beat out Preston Stone for the starting quarterback. But look who's trending in the Big Ten right now. Northwestern, who's I believe they're 5-2. Preston Stone is lighting it up out there. And it's beautiful to see. So I was rooting for Preston Stone. I felt terrible for him. I thought he was misused by Rhett Lashlee in the end. Rhett Lashlee was right. I was incorrect. But damn, Preston Stone is looking good in Northwestern. Let's get back to this. And I'm sure SMU fans, the type of people they are, I'm sure they're extremely happy for Preston Stone, by the way. 1,900 yards for Kevin Jennings, 17 touchdowns, completing 68% of his passes. That's something that everybody wanted to see get up for Kevin Jennings after seeing him in a year and a half of play. Hey, let's get that completion percentage up, and let's get those interceptions down. And he's spraying the ball. Everybody eats. Everybody eats, and they're not afraid to take shots. Romello, Brinson, 502 yards, 2 touchdowns on the season. Jordan Hudson, Gibson, one of the most dynamic duos at running back. TJ Harden has been efficient as well with 431 yards and 5 scores. Offense averages 31 points per game. I'm sure Rhett Lashlee wants that point to go up, but they can catch fire in a heartbeat. 100%. I like a lot of that. Alrighty. Their defense, Scott Symons is a defense coordinator. Blitz heavy, multiple defense built on confusion and turnover creation, mug fronts, simulated pressures. That's what you're going to get out of this defense. They're trying to turn the ball over because guess what? They know their offense can score. So if they give up a big play, it's okay because we're going to get a big play offensively. So they're really aggressive, which you don't see a lot in college football. Extremely aggressive. But 17th nationally against the run, 97 yards per game, 316 yards per game. Passing, what does that mean? They're dead last in passing defense. So I know Robbie Ashford, Damon Claiborne, who gets active as a pass catcher, they're ready. They're ready for this game. Edge rusher Cam Robertson, he has 5 sacks on the season. I ain't gonna even try to pronounce that last name. Got 53 tackles on the season. The Mustangs' aggressive approach pays off from time to time. +5 in turnover margin. That's 20th in the FBS, but dead last in passing. Defense is bad. 4th nationally in red zone defense, but dead last in passing is bad, especially when you got a team that can run the rock the way Wake Forest can run the rock. Alrighty, let's talk about Wake Forest. Offense coordinator Robbie Sale, power spread offense, blending tempo with a downhill run concept. Really love Robbie Ashford in this. And like I said, I'm not too happy for players. Nico, I'm super happy for too. Things going right for him at UCLA recently. Robbie Ashford, the success he's having there. He got 1,172 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the season. We need to see that flipped. We really do. But Robbie Ashford is extremely dangerous running the rock. Damon Claiborne, outstanding, 539 yards, 8 touchdowns. He don't have a lot of carries. I think he's done that in like 6 carries. 67 carries. Let's say 6 carries. That's crazy. 67 carries. And that's somewhere around 8 yards per carry. And when he's rolling, they're tough to beat. Now, here's the thing. He's small in stature. He's like a Devon Achane, like in stature. And I don't know if they have him on a pitch count, but there's games I'm like, yo, give him the ball. like don't overthink this. Like, let's simplify it. Hand him the ball and let him go to work. And that's what they did versus Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech found a way to come back. Chris Barnes is their go-to guy, wide receiver, 410 yards, 2 touchdowns, a legitimate deep threat. And the Deacons average 409 total yards per game. That's 53rd nationally. Middle of the pack, but when it's your first season as a head coach, and Jake Dickert, that's not bad at all. So Scotty Hazelton is their defensive coordinator, 4-2-5, built pressure and create turnovers. That's what a lot of people play, but I think they're a little bit more disciplined defensively than SMU is. 32 nationally in total defense, not bad at all. 33 in scoring defense, 20 points per game, not bad at all. Luther Hardy, 5.5 sacks on the year, and then Anderson got 50 tackles for them. Wake Forest is 132nd in the FBS in penalties, averaging 76 yards per game. That's crazy to me. That is crazy. There's a couple bad stats there. So let's get into some advanced metrics. Yards per play, Wake Forest 6.1, SMU 6.3. I think every team we discussed today was at 6 point something, right? Turnover margin, SMU +5, Wake Forest +1. Third down conversion, SMU's offense 43%, Wake Forest 37% allowed. Red zone battle, SMU defense 4th nationally at 66%. And then Wake Forest offense is at 76.2. They struggle in the red area, and that's not good. Both teams are in the bottom 15 time of possession. SMU 131, Wake Forest 116. Both of these teams like to go fast, so that's typically what you get. Some of the things to watch in this game. Can Wake defense handle Lashlee speed in space? Because this offense is going to bring it. Kevin Jennings is electric. Claiborne versus SMU front 7. I think this game, go inverted. Instead of running the pass and run. I think that'll be the key for Wake Forest this game. Penalties and field position. Wake Forest can't afford the free yards, and Kevin Jennings is just elite. He really is. Who will win this game? I want Wake Forest to win this game so bad. But that red zone rate bothers me. It bothers me 100%. And we know that SMU can score points in bunches. They really can. And will Wake Forest have Claiborne on a pitch counter? Will they give him the ball? That's really what matters to me. I want to say Wake Forest so bad. Give me SMU to win this game. Kevin Jennings just makes a few more plays than Robbie Ashford. I don't even know if Robbie Ashford is 100% healthy. Should have looked at that injury report prior to, but Kevin Jennings and Romello Brinson are going to connect quite a few times. So yeah, Mustangs move to 6-2, and they're right there in the thick of things in ACC.